My name is Adam, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how much money I had to put up and how much money I made in May selling options. I'm 42 years old. I retired in 2024 at the age of 41 years old, and my income consists of high paying dividend yields and turbocharging my retirement and income with selling options, both covered calls and cash secured puts. If you're unsure how to sell options, please click on the link up above. It's definitely a beginner's guide to options. With May coming to a close, May showers brings June flowers. I thought it would be a fantastic time to show you how much money I made in the month of May, specifically for the account that I'm showing you. I do have other accounts, and how much money or collateral I had to put up to make that income through options premium, both covered calls and cash secured puts. Take a look at the screen if this is something that you enjoy. The first position I have is a Robinhood covered call. It's a Robinhood covered call, $75 strike. The expiration is June 13th, and I have 10 contracts. So the collateral for this would be 1,000 shares because every contract is 100 shares. 10 contracts times 100 shares is 1,000 shares. How much did I collect? I collected $800 for this covered call. So let's go to the calculator and let's put in $800. Plus, let's go to the next play. I have a covered call for IBIT, which is a Bitcoin ETF, and it's a $75 strike. It's going to be expiring on June 13th. This is for 4 contracts or for 400 shares of IBIT as collateral. And I collected $124 for this, plus $124. Let's keep going. The next contract I have is a covered call on Mara. It is a $20 strike. I have 2 contracts, so I needed to have collateral of 200 shares of Mara. The expiration is June 13th. I collected for this $66 plus $66. Let's keep going. The next contract I have is on a $62 covered call strike for MO. This is a tobacco company called Eteria. I have 4 contracts, which means I need to have 400 shares as collateral, also expiring June 13th. And for this, I collected $112. Let's keep going. The next contract I have is a covered call on MicroStrategy with a $500 strike. It's for 10 contracts, so I have to have 1,000 shares of collateral for this covered call. It also expires on June 13th. And for this, I collected $3,100. Let's add the $3,100. Let's keep going. The next play I have is a cash secured put on MSTU, which is a 2x derivative ETF for MSTR. It's a $4 cash secured put. I have 800s of this, so I would have to have collateral of 800 contracts times 100 shares times the agreed upon strike, which is $4. So I had to put up $320,000 of collateral in order to collect a total of $8,000 of premium. Let me add that really fast. Plus 8,000. And if you missed the video, I completely break down how I got into the MSTU options play. Click on the link up above, watch that video, and then come back here. I also have an MSTU covered call for a $13 strike expiring June 13th. For this, I have 120 contracts, which means I have to put up 12,000 shares as collateral for this covered call. And for this, I collected $1,800 plus $1,800. By the way, I'm going to have a live tomorrow on Sunday. The live is usually at 8 p.m. Eastern, but tomorrow the live is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you don't miss it. 7 p.m. Eastern time, live tomorrow. The next play I have is MSTX, which is also a 2x derivative ETF for MicroStrategies. This is a $58 covered call It expires on June 13th. For this, I have 8 contracts, so I needed to have 800 shares of collateral, and I collected for this $680. The next contract I have is a covered call on MSTY. MSTY is a dividend yield max ETF that produces income on MicroStrategies. For this, it expires on June 13th, and I have 38 contracts, which means I have to have 3,800 shares of MSTY as collateral. And for this, I collected $190 plus $190. Let's keep going. I have a covered call NVIDIA Play Strike $150. I have 2 of these also expiring on June 13th. That means that I have to have 200 shares of NVIDIA to cover this call. I collected for this $280. $280. The next play I have is a covered call on SoFi. It's a $14 strike, also expiring on June 13th. For this, I have 13 contracts, which means I have to have 1,300 shares of SoFi as collateral for this covered call. For this, I collected $588 plus another $67. I sold them at different times. Let's add that up. Plus 588 plus 67. And let's keep going. This is a SoFi cash secured put. If you're unfamiliar with this play, click on the link up above. It's a $655,000 cash secured put position. Watch that video, click on the link, and then come back here. This expires on June 13th. This is for 468 contracts, which means 468 contracts times 100 shares times the $14 strike price. My collateral for this play is $655,200. So far, my collateral that I need for my cash secured puts is $320,000 plus $655,000, nearly $1 million of collateral for my cash secured puts. And so far, the other collateral would be my covered calls or the shares. And all you have to do is multiply all the share contracts that I'm talking about times the share price. I can't give you my cost basis because that would be a 2-hour video. This is a Verizon covered call, $46 strike, expiring on June 13th. I have 5 contracts, so that means I have to have a collateral of 500 Verizon shares to do this covered call. For this, I collected $145 plus $145. This is a $68 strike on BitBee, a covered call. BitBee is another Bitcoin ETF. This expires on June 20th. The reason it doesn't expire on June 13th is because there were no June 13th contracts, so I had to go to June 20th. If you know me, I like the same expiration for all of my contracts, as you can see, but sometimes it doesn't work out. I have 5 of these contracts, which means I have to have 500 shares of BitBee as collateral for this covered call. For this, I collected $250. This is a $47 strike. BTI. BTI is the largest tobacco company in Britain, if I'm not mistaken. So I have 2 tobacco companies, MO and BTI. I believe it's the biggest American company and the biggest British company, or one of each. $47 strike, expiring on June 20th. Again, I like June 13th, but there was no action for June 13th. So June 20th, 5 of these, which means I have to have 500 shares of BTI as collateral for this $47 strike, and I collected $125. 125. Let's keep going. This is a covered call for a $35 strike for BXSL, and this is a BlackRock business development company, and this one is expiring on November 21st. I have 3 contracts. I need to have 300 shares of BXSL in order to do this. I just wanted to show you that this was actually sold in May. The reason why the expiration here is for November as opposed to my normal June is because there's not a lot of action on this stock because this stock gives like a 12% or 15% dividend. So it's a dividend stock. So sometimes if I have a dividend stock that there's not a lot of liquidity, there's not a lot of action, what I'll do is instead of selling it a month out, I'll sell it for 6 months out, or I'll sell it for 4 months out, or I'll sell it for a year out. And I'll pick a really, really high strike price that 99% is not going to happen because this is a high yielding dividend stock. And if it does happen, I'm collecting dividends the entire time and I made a ton of money on my position on a dividend stock that usually doesn't happen. I'm usually collecting on covered calls for a dividend stock, maybe 1 or 2% for the entire year, 1 year's worth. Now, you might say, Adam, that is not worth it. Why would you do that? But quite honestly, why would you not do it? It's just sitting there doing nothing. Why not collect extra income and as much money as possible? And for this, I collected $105 plus $105. Let's keep going. So why not collect $105 instead of collecting nothing for just letting the stock sit in your portfolio for 6 months and you're still collecting dividends the entire time? It makes no sense why people don't do this. This is a covered call $53 strike on AMLP. AMLP is actually an energy ETF. I have a video on that. Click on the link up above. I used to do content for dividend plays as well. Now I just talk about options because the algorithm picked that up a lot more. But you should definitely watch the video if you want a really solid 7-8% dividend stock that also appreciates in price. And for this, I actually have an expiration date of January 16th, 2026. And I have 20 of these contracts. Again, I'm including this only because I opened this in May. And for this, I collected $1,300. So why not collect an extra $1,300, collecting premium the entire way and also asset appreciation? And my strike price is really, really high on this high yield dividend ETF. Let's add plus $1,300. By the way, I wanted to say one thing. I'm probably going to be buying this out shortly. As you can see, I collected 65 cents. Right now, the current price is 1 cent. So I'm actually up 98% of my play. The thing is, there's not a large market. So I can't even buy this back at 1 penny or 5 cents. But soon I'll be able to buy it back at 10 or 15 cents in the future. And I'll just sell another covered call. It's easy money. There's no reason why you shouldn't be selling covered calls on high dividend ETFs. There makes no sense. This is a $25 strike on ET. ET is called Energy Transfer. It's one of the stocks in AMLP ETF that I mentioned in the last covered call. And this is also a high yield energy stock, not ETF. And this also pays like 7 or 8%. This also expiring on January 2026. This is 13 contracts, which means I have to have 1,300 shares as collateral. I actually have like 5,500 shares. I'm trying to sell more of these, and there's just not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of bid and asks, so it doesn't really get filled. But for this, so far, I collected $110 plus $11 plus $22. So let's add that up. 110 plus 11 plus 22. So as you can see, if there's not a lot of volume, I'll just keep putting in the play all day long. You see May 23rd, May 27th, May 27th, May 28th, May 29th, May 30th. I'll just keep putting the plays in. And if there's not a lot of volume, that's okay. I'll just put the play in and just let it ride. That's the end of my covered calls and cash secured puts for this specific account. So let's see the total, how much I collected in the month of May. Total is 17,875. However, I just realized that I didn't add my SoFi cash secured put. And this is my SoFi cash secured put. I collected 15,088 and I collected 6,440. So let's add that up. Plus 6,440 plus 15,088. 15,088. And the grand total, how much I made in the month of May between putting up around $975,000 of collateral for cash secured puts and the collateral of shares that I already own is $39,403. In the month of May, just from selling options in this one account that I show you. And this is the main account that I'm showing you what I'm working with. I collected $39,403. This is not including the dividend income that I make from the dividend ETFs that I hold. And I hold a lot more than what I was just showing you that I have covered calls on. Altogether, I make a pretty penny in retirement as a 42-year-old who retired last year in 2024 as a 41-year-old. I hope you enjoyed the transparency and no fluff. And although I cannot make you rich because I'm not a financial advisor and I don't claim to be able to make you rich, all I could do is show you my journey. And as they say, the proof is in the pudding. I am showing you hardcore evidence, nearly $40,000 in premiums from this account alone, on top of other income coming in. That is how I retired. Make sure you click on these two videos over here talking about my options, dividend income, as well as this playlist right here, where it's actually going to be talking about high yield dividend ETFs. Let's see if some people want to watch those videos. And as always, channel membership is open down below. If you want to become a channel member, I have a lot of things coming up for my channel members. Thank you. God bless and have a great day.